Hi everyone. So this is the answer key for the 10.4 to 10.6 quiz. I thought I would try it and see how this goes. So number one gave you this picture and it asked you to find the area. Well, we know based off of this that it's side, included, angle, and side. So we're going to use our law of sines area. So that formula is just 1/2 the length of one side times the length of the other side times the sine of the included angle, which would be 24. And now if we plug that straight into our calculator here, we're going to plug in 0.5 times 16 times 17 times sine of 24, and we're going to get 55.3. Okay, so 55.3 should have been the answer that you got there. Okay, number two gives you another picture and it says to find the measure of angle W here. And it looks like it also gave you that this is 93 degrees and that this is 37 degrees here. Okay, so if I know that I have a side length across from an angle, then I'm probably going to want to see if there's some way I can use law of sines just because it's easier than law of cosines. So I can find this missing angle W, okay, by doing 180 minus 93 minus 37. And I'm just going to plug it into my calculator right here. And I get that W equals 50 degrees. So now I can go on ahead and I can use my law of sines. So I know that the sine of an angle, so I'm using angle X, over the length of that side equals the sine of another angle over the length of its side. And now I'm going to go on ahead and just solve. So I'm going to do 31 times sine of 50. And then I always divide by that odd man out there. And you could do this by just cross multiplying also. So this, set it equal to that, okay? And then you would have to divide. Okay? So make sure you know how to do that. And now I'm just going to plug that into my calculator here. So that's going to be 31 times sine of 50. And rather than doing parentheses, I just like to hit equals there, divided by sine of 37. And I get 39.5 as my answer. So that's going to be 39.5 is my length of side W. Now let's go on to the next problem now. Let's see, I'm trying to adjust my paper and stuff so that you guys can see everything. Okay, so the next problem wanted me to find the length of side Z here. And so same thing, I have an angle across from a side length and I have an angle measured. I'm looking for a side length. So I'm just going to go on ahead and plug this into my law of sines. So I'm going to have sine of 38 across from Z equals sine of 60 across from 9.8. Now I'm going to cross multiply. When I cross multiply, I'm going to get sine of 60 times Z equals 9.8 times sine of 38. But I got to get that Z by itself, so I'm going to divide everything by sine of 60. And this question didn't actually want you to solve, it just wanted you to set it up. Okay, so my answer then is going to be 9.8 times sine of 38 divided by sine of 60. Okay, let's go on ahead and look at your next problem. Okay, so problem number 4 here wanted us to find the value of X, and it gave us a little word problem. So it said a construction crew is roping off a triangular area with caution tape. One length is 19, one length is 25, and the included angle is 85. So it wants us to find this missing side. Well, we don't know any other angle measures, and we can't find any other angle measures right now. Well, I guess we could use law of sines and do it. But the easiest way, without having to do several different things, is going to just be oh no, we can't use law of sines. Okay, so we're just going to have to use law of cosines. So then we're going to start with that side length, and we're going to square it. Equals one side squared plus the other side squared minus 2 times both of those sides times cosine of that included angle. Okay, and now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and plug it right into my calculator exactly as it is there. So 19 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 19 times 25 times cosine of 85. I hit enter at this point. Okay, so now I know that x squared equals approximately 903 point some stuff. Okay, but all I'm going to do on my calculator is I'm going to hit second and my square root key down here, and then I'm going to hit second and my answer key down here. So that's going to plug in that 903.2020444 that I have there. And then I hit enter, and I know my answer now is 30.1. It wanted us to round to the nearest tenth. So x equals 30.1. Okay. All right, let's go on ahead and do the last two problems now. Okay, so the next one says to find the area, and this one right here, we're given three sides and no angle measures. So we're going to use De Moivre's theorem. It's essentially using our law of cosines. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find our S, and in order to find that, we're going to add 8 plus 11 plus 17, and we divide that by 2. Okay. So 8 plus 11 plus 17 divided by 2 is 18. And then we're going to plug all of that in. So we're going to do the square root of S times S minus my first side times S minus, S, I put S instead of 18. I know what S is. So times S, which is 18, minus my second side, times S, which is 18, minus my third side. And it doesn't matter what order they're going in because they're multiplied. So now on my computer, I'm just going to plug all that in. Second square root, and I'm going to do 18 times, okay, I have to put this stuff in parentheses. 18 minus 8, parenthesis, times 18 minus 11, parenthesis, times, parenthesis, 18 minus 17, parenthesis, and then close that last parenthesis because you see there was one right here that was put in. Okay, and if you don't close that last one, it's not going to affect anything, but you want to keep track of those. Okay, so we're going to get 35.5 is going to be our answer. Our area of this triangle is 35.5. Okay, so lots of formulas. That's the big thing here. Okay, so this last one, we're given three side lengths, and we need to find the measure of angle B. Anytime we're dealing with three side lengths, it's always going to be law of cosines. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this up. If I'm looking for angle B, then I have to start with the side across from it. So it's going to be 4.6 squared equals, I'm using my law of cosines formula here, 2.1 squared plus 3.2 squared minus 2 times 2.1 times 3.2 times cosine of B, whatever that might be. Okay, I'm going to go on ahead and figure this and figure this. Okay, and figure that 4.6 squared. Okay, so 4.6 squared is 21.16. And then we have 2.1 squared plus, and I'm going to go on ahead and add these two, 3.2 squared, which gives me 14.65 minus, okay, I'm going to do all this right now. So 2 times 2.1 times 3.2, and that gives me 13.44 times cosine of B. Now, I cannot combine this with this because this acts as a variable. Okay? These are not like terms. So I need to get this whole portion by itself first. Okay, so sometimes I like to tell you guys to pretend that that is a variable because it really is. So like an x. Okay, so I got to get that x by itself. So I'm going to subtract 14.65 from both sides. So now I'm going to wind up with my 21.16 minus 14.65. And you can do this in less steps on your calculator. I'm just showing you guys all the work. Okay, equals negative 13.44 times, I'm going to change that back to a cosine of B instead of that x there. Okay, well now I got to get this cosine of B by itself. So I need to divide by negative 13.44 divide by negative 13.44. So now I have 6.51 divided by negative 13.44. Okay, and that gives me negative 0.484375 equals cosine of B. Okay, well, I have to find an angle measure, which means those two things swap places. So it becomes B equals inverse cosine, or arc cosine is what we're going to call it once you see it in pre-calculus, of that negative 0.484375. Okay, and that will give me my B. Now on my calculator, I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to hit second cosine and then second and my answer button down here. Okay, so that's going to plug in that negative 0.484375 that I have there, and I get 118.9 or 119 degrees. Okay. So that's how you should have done the answers to the questions on the quiz. If you don't know these formulas, you need to study them and make sure that you do know them. Have a great day.